business world also. New markets, new methods of business, new marketing and management strategies, and also new currencies have been introduced. We already know that notes and coins, credit and debit cards, ATM cards, and e-wallets as types of money which we are using as exchange mediums. But beyond of those types of money, now we have new types, or else now we can use cryptocurrency as new exchange medium. Even though cryptocurrency is not a new concept for the world, but it is a new concept for us. Guys, remember, to win the dynamic business world, it is very important to have a sound knowledge about cryptocurrency. But not only cryptocurrency, but also it is most important to have a sound knowledge about the stock market also. With that aim, today, the Rotaract Club of University of Colombo Faculty of Management and Finance has put together Wall Street 3.0. To remark this glamorous evening, we have with us Mr. Vinod Paragala, the Managing Director of PNJ Consultants Private Limited, and Mr. Dunitra De Silva, the founder and CEO of Eden Solutions. We warmly welcome both of you, and also I welcome all of the participants who joined with us today to win this dynamic business world. Without further delay, let's move into our first session for the day, conducted by Mr. Dunitra De Silva, founder of Eden Solution. During the session, if you have any question, you can raise them during the Q&A time after his session. So let's now get to know about the cryptocurrency. Mr. Dunitra, now the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hi guys, how's everyone doing? Let me just share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Mr. Dunitra, we can see.
All right, okay. So a little bit about myself. Right now, I'm just finishing off my data science degree at Monash, and I'll be doing this full time. Just to let you guys know, I learned everything I learned in my degree. I use none of that to do what I do. So in case y'all think y'all need some kind of education or anything like that to do well in crypto, you really don't. Long as you got the need to self-learn, that's all you really need. So starting off, before we dive into how you can get your hands on some crypto, let's take it step by step, right? So I'll first go through a brief understanding of cryptocurrency and the blockchain, then a few cryptocurrencies, the advantages of cryptocurrency, the laws in Sri Lanka about it, how do we get started in it, which is pretty much the main portion about this, and how does cryptocurrency fit into the future. So the basic idea of cryptocurrency is that it's a form of payment, right, that can be exchanged online for goods and services. And with a lot of countries and companies using it, you can pay for stuff even in store using crypto. So right now, many companies have issued their own currencies, often called tokens. And these can be traded specifically for the goods or services that company provides. So cryptocurrencies, they work using a technology called the blockchain. Think of this as a bunch of blocks or that contain information all stitched together, right? And we have multiple strings of blocks, which are called chains. A direct copy of the entire structure is stored on each validator's computers. So validators are the people that they verify whether a transaction is real or not. So this means if one block in one chain was changed, it would be immediately noticeable that it has been tampered with. So in the security aspect of it, if hackers wanted to corrupt a blockchain system, they would have to change every block in the chain across all the distributed versions of the chain, which is incredibly hard. So blockchains such as Bitcoin and Ethereum are constantly and continually growing as blocks are being added to the chain, which significantly adds to the security of the ledger. So the reason we call it decentralized is because it's not stored and accessed by one particular authority. It's distributed across various systems around the world. So that's pretty much a basic introduction into what cryptocurrency is and the blockchain, right? So next up, so let's talk a little bit about Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin is the first ever cryptocurrency that was launched in 2009. So the creator of Bitcoin had ensured that only 21 million Bitcoins that can ever be in circulation, and they will all be fully available through the process of mining. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of Bitcoin mining, but maybe it's a bit hard to understand. So if I break it down, Bitcoin mining is the process of creating new Bitcoins by solving mathematical puzzles. So the mining process also confirms transactions on the network and makes them trustworthy. So each transaction made is registered on the blockchain forever, as well as verified by all the nodes around the world. So as long as the majority of the nodes agree that this ledger entry is legit, then it can be introduced into the next block in the chain, and therefore it cannot be changed later on. So after Bitcoin's creation and its growth in popularity, many new projects came into the space to address different issues that Bitcoin does not necessarily solve. So one of them has become the second largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization, and that is Ethereum. So just to let you guys know, Ethereum is my absolute favorite right now. So think of Ethereum as the concrete or the foundation when we build houses, right? Most of the tokens and currencies out there right now are built on top of Ethereum. It was developed generally to feature prominently smart contracts. So smart contracts are decentralized, self-executing agreements coded into the blockchain itself. So pretty much what Bitcoin did for money and payments by harnessing the blockchain technology, Ethereum will do for applications of all shapes and sizes. However, there are other limitations of Ethereum, which there are so many other cryptocurrencies that come in that solve each cryptocurrency's shortcomings and faults, right? So next up, we have USDT, okay? So we just spoke about the two largest cryptocurrencies on the block. Another extremely important currency is stablecoins. So the idea of a stablecoin is to represent a one-to-one relationship with the currency. For example, USDT, right? Where one USDT is and always will be equal to $1. This way, we avoid the volatility of the crypto market. So in theory, how this works is you would give $1 to the Tether company and they will issue you with one USDT and vice versa. So another reason we use stable coins is to buy crypto. So now in Sri Lanka, we cannot use direct bank transfers and credit debit cards to buy crypto directly. Therefore, we first need to purchase USDT, and using that, we can buy any crypto we want. So another neat trick is, since we cannot purchase US dollars because our banks don't have any, we can purchase USDT and keep them to avoid inflation. I'll explain that later on in this. So next up, we have cryptocurrency exchanges. So this is the main component we need to buy crypto. So we need a cryptocurrency exchange is because we can't go to our bank or investment firm and say, I'd like to buy some Bitcoin, because it's not possible in most countries. So an exchange is where you will either use your cash to trade, buy, and sell your cryptocurrencies. So the most famous cryptocurrency exchange in Sri Lanka is Binance. The reason being the peer-to-peer trading possibility and the cheap fees. Also note that there are decentralized and centralized crypto exchanges, which is an in-depth topic due for another session. So generally, we will always be using pretty much 99% of the time using centralized crypto exchanges. So that's like Binance, FTX, and stuff like that. KuCoin. So a little bit about the advantages of cryptocurrency. So, all of this Bitcoin, Ethereum, that's all great, right? But why should you invest in cryptocurrency? So protection from inflation or, currency depreciation. So let me just give you, a basic example, right? Let's say you've got 200 rupees right now and you want to buy a bottle of water, which is 200, right? So great, you can buy that right now, no problem. 2 years later, you've got the same 200 rupees. Companies aren't paying you anything extra because because of inflation, now that bottle of water is 250. Well, now you're probably going to die of dehydration because you're not going to afford it. How can we combat this, right? So you can invest in dollars, and due to the Sri Lankan rupee depreciating faster than flash, you could liquidate your dollars when you need and you'll be fine. However, Sri Lanka doesn't have dollars, so goodbye to that option. But if you did convert your rupees to USDT and keep it, that same 200, which is 1 USDT, in 2 years would still be 1 USDT, but worth way more than 200 rupees. Therefore, you don't need to care about this depreciating rupee. The next 3 points, if we sum it up, using cryptocurrency, you can transfer millions to anywhere around the world in seconds without needing a third party. I mean, think about paying tuition fees abroad or transferring money to a relative. How that's a real hassle. But with crypto, I mean, what, seconds? Probably takes seconds to get that done. And no one can access or freeze your assets if you keep your crypto in a hardware wallet. That means you and only you have complete and control and access to it. So just to break it down, what a hardware wallet is, you control your private keys. So generally, when you invest, so you buy some crypto on Binance, right? And you keep it there, they actually own your money. They could just disappear overnight with all your money, and there's probably nothing you can do about it. So by transferring your assets to a hardware wallet, in essence, it's like your own vault. Nobody can freeze it, nobody can take it, nothing. So when it comes to, secure and privacy, it's hard to beat that. And finally, you can exchange different cryptocurrencies in a flash without having to go to banks or money changers, fill forms and whatnot. Something I want to talk about is the fact that investing in solid projects, right, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, will most definitely give you better returns in the long run than having your money in a fixed deposit. It's all relative to certain factors, but that's just the basic principle of it, right? So we have to talk about the laws about cryptocurrency in Sri Lanka, right? So this is what they published on April 16, 2018, and they haven't really changed it. Even with the crypto, what's that, board coming in and stuff like that, nothing really has changed, okay? So the main point is there's no gazette notification explicitly saying you cannot trade cryptocurrencies. And the way we trade, we are not directly sending money out of the country to invest in virtual currencies. Also note that there are a lot of scams running around, right? And it's on this, of course, it does say explicitly it's illegal for people to take your money and invest in virtual currencies on your behalf. You doing it, that's completely fine. But nobody, if somebody tells you, give us your money, we'll put it in crypto and give you what, 30% returns. No, just don't do that. Okay. Next up, we have the interesting parts. How do we get started in cryptocurrency in Sri Lanka, right? Okay. So first off, you want to go to Binance and register an account. Okay. So why I say Binance, like I said earlier, is the P2P function. I will explain that in a few more slides. Okay. So first off, head to Binance and you can create just register an account. Next up, you will have to complete your KYC. So KYC stands for Know Your Customer. So you got to verify yourself using either your passport or ID. I personally prefer using my passport. So you upload your passport pictures. And on the next step, of course, you have to do a facial identification as well. So once you complete that, it generally takes about a day at max, and you'll be verified. From there, so this is the P2P section. Okay, so Like I said a few slides ago, we cannot use direct bank transfers, debit cards, or credit cards to buy the crypto directly from Binance or any exchange. In fact, we cannot even use those things for Wise just to transfer money right out of the country. So what we do here is we use the peer-to-peer network. Okay, so what that means is you've got guys all over Sri Lanka willing to sell you USDT in exchange for your rupee. Okay, now remember a few slides ago when I told you one USDT is equal to one USD, but this is a screenshot from today, by the way. So right now, one USDT is about 240 rupees. Now, the reason it is this expensive is because number one, the demand for USDT is quite high as the market is low, right? So people want to keep investing right now. The second is these guys have to do different things, I would say, to get their USDT. So it's costing them as well, and they're charging a profit as well. So that's why it's expensive. So if by any chance you want to just keep USDT on hand, no investing and all that, what I would suggest is you get the USDT, you invest it in a solid project right now, I would say, because we're in a bull market. I'll get to the bull market and bear market in a bit. So you invest it, you make up for the exchange rate, take out your USDT, and you can keep it. Okay. So bottom line is you're gonna have to buy USDT here. So what you do is you make a bank transfer to a certain person, one of these guys, and once they confirm that payment, they will release that USDT into your wallet, right? Next up, how do we buy and sell, right? So on the market section of Binance, you will search for your crypto asset, right? So for example, you want to buy some Bitcoin, you would be searching Bitcoin slash USDT. So whatever your token slash USDT, and you will be buying it. So there are multiple ways to buy it. If you see on the bottom here, you see limit, market, and stop limit. So theoretically, you've heard people saying, oh, we've got to watch the graphs 24/7. No, you don't have to, right? So you do some technical analysis, you find out where the price is gonna hit, and you can automate your orders, buying and selling as well. So now since you have your USDT, you buy your crypto, right? So for example, let's say we buy some Bitcoin right now and we hold it till next February, maybe, and we sell it. So now when you sell that Bitcoin, you get your profits in USDT. Okay, that'll be in your wallet. And then you have to sell that to get into cash, right? So you go back onto the P2P section and there'll be people willing to buy your USDT for cash. So also note that people will be buying your USDT rates will be lower than the selling, right? So you will follow the same things. You will give your banking instructions and they will transfer you the cash, and you will accept it and say to transfer your USDT to their wallet. And if you think, okay, so a big misconception is, okay, are there enough people to buy my USDT, right? There's always people. I have my whole time doing crypto, I have never not seen once where there aren't people to buy USDT, right? Maybe sometimes at a lower rate, right? But you always be able to liquidate it. Another thing is you can use the P2P to liquidate your money anywhere around the world, right? All you got to do is switch your currency, have a bank account in your name, and 15 minutes, you can have money deposited to anywhere around the world. That's one way how people use the P2P as well, right? So next up, I want to talk about if you really want to get into crypto, we as our company offers something called the Crypto Masterclass, right? So what we do is we first go on with the introduction, which we just did, so but a bit more in depth. We get your accounts verified on Binance. We teach you how to use each component of the Binance interface, how to go through and purchase your USDT, and the technical analysis portion, right? Why do you need technical analysis in crypto? Is so you can predict, okay, the market is extremely volatile, that's correct. We can have dips just in a flash, all possible, right? But using the technical analysis, you can predict at least where the market is heading, where the supports are, where you should be buying, where you should be selling, stuff like that, right? That's very, very important. And we also teach you how to use crypto for business as well, right? How do you set those stuff up? And another thing I want to talk to you all about, which we also just introduced into the course, is about Binance Futures, right? So what Binance Futures is, you must have heard, a lot of people, now TikTok, it's full of that stuff where we made multiple millions on futures and all that. It is definitely possible, but the risk is insane, right? So what Binance Futures is where, let's say, it's pretty much betting against the market, right? So you either bet whether the market is going up or whether the market is going down. Okay, that's pretty much the underlying of it, right? And then you will multiply that what your thought by a leverage, right? There's 10x leverage, 20x, that's 2x, stuff like that. So it does not mean that a 10x leverage means you get 10 times your money, right? It just means that the amount you are investing, for example, let's say $100, that is multiplied by 10. So you have now $1,000 to buy Bitcoin. So you only need, depending on your leverage, you only need the Bitcoin or whatever the asset you're investing in to go up a little bit to get double your money. However, futures is way different to buying some assets on the spot market, which we showed earlier, because if in case the market does go down and you have betted that it's going up, you lose all your money, right? It's gone forever. However, if you, let's say, bought some Bitcoin, you know for a fact that Bitcoin appreciates in value, right? It may go down, but you're not going to lose the amount you have, right? It will eventually come up. So that's one of the main differences about Binance Futures, right? And before we get into how does cryptocurrency fit into the futures, I would like to tell you all about the bear market and the bull market, right? So what a bear market is where you don't see all-time highs for a certain amount of time. And then you have your bull market, which you just keep seeing highs and highs and highs, right? So generally, it's a 3-year bear market followed by a 1-year bull market. That's just the base underlying theory, okay? But there are much more detailed stuff like, extending Bitcoin cycles and stuff like that. So right now we are in a bull run, okay? When will it end? It's definitely hard to say. The last one was in 2017, which ended in December. So it's hard, you can't really predict the exact date or month that it will end. But right now we are in one, and it will probably end next year, right? Next year, first quarter of the year, possible. And another thing to note is that during a bear market, the time it switches is during something called a Bitcoin halving event, right? So what a Bitcoin halving event is, miners, they get rewarded, right, for solving puzzles or validating nodes, right? So for example, let's say you're a miner and you're mining Bitcoin, right? So the award you get, let's say right now, is 1 Bitcoin. So every 4 years, a Bitcoin halving means your reward is cut in half, right? So in 4 years, you get half a Bitcoin. So generally, when we view historical data, that would be the best time to get in, because it's after that does the bull run start. Like that's generally what happens, right? So how does crypto? So I'm glad that you guys now know that, and let's just see how does cryptocurrency fit into the future, right? So the future of cryptocurrency is quite phenomenal, right? You have major companies like Tesla and MicroStrategy adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets, and more institutions are now investing in cryptocurrency. Therefore, the value would increase, right? And with governments like El Salvador now using crypto as their currency and mining Bitcoin with their natural resources, they're exponentially growing their treasury. Over time, countries wanting to compete in the adaptation, crypto would become as normal and relatable as the internet, right? And considering job opportunities in crypto, right? The field is so new that you don't necessarily need to have a degree in crypto to get a job. Long as you can self-learn and provide actionable information, use your skills to solve the company's needs into the crypto world, it really won't be hard to get a job. Us personally, in our company, we will be looking to hire later on, and we will be not looking for a degree. Long as you can do the job, live up to our expectations, you'll be hired. And in my understanding, that's pretty much what most of the startup crypto companies are doing, right? And finally, over time, everything will be digital, which also means our paper money will turn digital and cryptocurrency will just become the normal, right? And before we get into the question and answer section of this, I would like to, one second, sorry. Yeah, before we get into the Q&A section, I would like to say the minimum amount you need to invest in crypto is $11. Okay, that's the minimum amount you need. So $11 right now on the P2P is about 2,600 rupees, right? That's the minimum. And the golden rule that I hope all of you will follow is never invest anything you're not willing to lose, right? Because however good we think a certain project is, even Bitcoin, right? It can fall, right? And if you need that money quick, you're not going to have it, especially, let's say, for example, you buy at a bull market top, right? And it suddenly falls. You're not going to get the same amount of money for the next 3 years. So you need to always be thinking, okay, I don't need this money immediately, or I am okay with losing this money, right? That should be your number one thing. Think that would cover a basic introduction into cryptocurrency. And also, this is, I wouldn't say, only invest in cryptocurrency or only invest in the stock market, right? You need to have a diverse portfolio. So you should definitely have stocks, you should definitely have crypto, you should definitely have all other kinds of assets as well. And people telling you crypto is, a way you can get money really fast, or, we can buy Lamborghinis in a year. I mean, yeah, you can. If you did 125x with a million, you could. But in reality, that's never going to work, because the volatility is great. So I would say be reasonable with your expectations. Don't expect too much. Be logical, and I think you all should all be fine. I think, yeah, that's the end of my presentation. So Q&A answer section.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Mr. Dunitra. So now it is the time to clear all your doubts. If you have any problem or a question regarding the cryptocurrency, then you can put there into the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and directly you can ask from Mr. Dunitra. Okay, Mr. Dunitra, we have one question from the chat box. What is the level of risk involved if you're just starting out?
It depends on what you are investing as well, right? So let's say you invest in Bitcoin right now, or Ethereum, or DOT. There is definitely a risk, right? But if these are all solid projects that are doing really well, and they are going to go up. However, if you invest in like Doge or SHIB or those kind of meme coins, the risk is just extremely great.
Okay, so the next question that we have is, what do you think about the cryptocurrency ADA?
Yeah, ADA is a pretty good coin. I mean, it is definitely solving Bitcoin's and Ethereum's problem, but I personally don't really invest in it due to the fact that we have a lot of false promises from Cardano, like the smart contracts, which still haven't come in. Even, I mean, they are doing good work, bringing cryptocurrency to Africa and all that, but I would rather prefer investing in other projects right now.
Okay, so the next question that we have, will Bitcoin go to 100K end of this year?
Definitely possible. I wouldn't say it's impossible. We have seen on the stock to flow model that it is supposed to happen, But however, right now the stock to flow model and the creator of that plan B, they did say that we should see 98K of a Bitcoin this November, and we've got like what, a few more, like about a week and a bit to get that. So I don't really see that happening with the volatility. However, do I see 100K happening for this market cycle? Definitely possible. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so the next question that we have is, could provide a method on how to do proper research on upcoming new projects and to understand whether it is suitable in investing.
Yeah, sure. So what we do is we do teach that in the course as well, but we definitely teach that step by step in the course. But an outline I would say is, when you research the project, check for the investors in it, their partners, and what the problem they're trying to solve, right? If they're trying to, for example, right, if they're trying to solve, decentralized finance issues, speed, cost, gas fees like on Ethereum, then, gaming, crypto gaming, stuff like that, then I would say it's a good project. But you need to evaluate the future of that with its competitors, right? I would say, yeah. But mainly there are partners, investors, and whether the project is it already complete, or are they looking for funding to complete the project? Those things all matter.
Okay, so the other question is, how can I get more knowledge about crypto?
You should definitely join the course. You get plenty of knowledge. We have a group as well. So we update that. We have a premium membership where we every day we do a market analysis on all our investments. We tell you exactly what's happening, the dips, the supports, the resistance, everything. So that's probably my best advice if you want to learn more.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is, what is your opinion on the USDT FUD? You think USDC would be a better choice for traders in the future?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, USDT, there's a lot of, conspiracies behind it about their treasuries, about their backing up and all that stuff. That is true. I did write a research report on that. Yes, USDC is a good option because of, how they are working together with the government and stuff like that. But I also would say BUSD, which is the Binance US dollar. So long as Binance is there, the USD is not gonna just disappear overnight. But I would say risk management, right? Don't keep all your stable coins in one, like just in USDT. I would say split them between USDT, USDC, BUSD. Uh, shall I answer the next question? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you. Somebody asked, can you share your experience about the cryptocurrency and the trade?
Hi guys, can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I think I got disconnected, right?
No, we can hear you.
All right. Okay. So what was the next question? Did I answer that the USDT question properly?
Yeah. The next question that we have is, somebody asked to you to explain your experience regarding the cryptocurrency trade and your other experience with the cryptocurrency.
Okay, so where I really started investing in crypto in May this year. So I was in Monash, Malaysia, right? And we couldn't really buy crypto there. I mean, there were ways, but I did not know. I absolutely knew nothing on crypto, right? So I had to watch so many YouTube videos, cross-reference, and learn, and there's so many unnecessary necessary information out there, right? You don't really need for you to do your job. Like, you want to get in, put in the money, make the money, get the money out, right? So it was very, very hectic. And however, I did that. I practiced. I had two friends who guided me. One who's actually on this Zoom right now, and we just did that. We practiced. I practiced and practiced, and then I realized, to make it much easier if I made a straightforward course. It would be very, very easy for everybody else, right? And my experience, something that I want to say was that going for live classes on crypto is not something I would personally do, right? Because I can guarantee that after this meeting is done, you're not going to remember anything technical about this, about what I said, right? So that's why we pre-recorded everything, set it up step by step so that you can view it even 100 times to get it. So that's how I pretty much learned. Yeah.
Okay, so the next question that we have is how strict are the crypto rules newly formed in Sri Lanka? Does it have a negative impact on the Binance community?
Uh, it depends, right? It depends what rules that they put. Now, for example, sending money out of the country, yeah, if now they stop using wise, right? So some people, they sent money out of the country using wise, and they got USDT for that, right? So the stricter their rules are to allowing money out of the country, it would negatively impact USDT prices. That's number one. Number two is if they do something like they did in Malaysia, where they, told Binance that they can't operate in Malaysia anymore. They could not liquidate any of their crypto assets because the MYR currency was taken off Binance. So if Sri Lanka does that, yeah, I mean, or if you don't have a foreign bank account, you're not going to be able to liquidate your crypto. So that's how it would negatively affect the community.
Okay. So then somebody asked that how to find good coins before they release to the market.
There are a lot of websites that give information about ICOs. So one good way is on Binance, taking part in Binance Launchpad and launch pool activities. However, to take part in those, you need to have their native token, which is BNB, and actually a lot of it. So that's one way to take part in ICOs. Another thing is taking part in airdrops, right? So I mean, I can't tell you off the top of my head the exact websites, but you can take part in, for example, there's this decentralized exchange called DYDX. Okay. So just for using their exchange, they were airdropped about, I think, $20,000 worth of tokens, which is now, yeah, I'm not sure how much it's worth now, but yeah. So there are different ways to get involved in new coins, but for starters, I would say take part in the launchpad and launch pool activities on Binance.
Okay, so the next question that we have is, what is a good platform to practice trading on?
Practicing trading, I've had that question before, and I haven't really found a good platform to do, trades which you can really monitor. But what I would definitely say is to look at historical data and practice on historical data. So make some, do your technical analysis on historical data, make a decision, and then check how that data moved based on your decision. I would say that's the most confident way you can be.
Okay, so I think this will be a cool question that someone asked, that are cryptocurrencies used for illegal activities?
Oh yeah, all the time. That's not even a question. All the time. However, people that tell you Bitcoin transactions or they're untraceable, they're actually they're actually traceable, like extremely traceable. If you go right now on Google and type, that you want to, you have a transaction ID or a wallet address, and you put it into that, you'll be able to see exactly where that money is going in and out. And let's say it's a Binance account, you could, the authorities could tell Binance to flag that account, and then they cannot withdraw or take that money out. However, there are crypto assets that people can use. For example, it's like Monero. People use that they do have security features, which helps it much harder to trace, but it is definitely traceable if you wanted it to be traceable.
Okay, so the next question that we have is, crypto is the another stand up for the ones who is in search of money. So the question is, what was your first downfall in crypto trading and how did you overcome it?
Okay. So when I first started this, my friend, he was like, okay, this is my first time buying crypto, right? And I love dogs, okay? So I bought Doge at 0.49, and now Doge is 50% lower. So thankfully, like I said before, I followed the advice that you don't invest anything you're not willing to lose. Was I sad? Absolutely. Did I cry a bit? Absolutely. But still, you do recover from that. You then don't invest in stupid projects. You invest in really good projects that have potential and future, and that's how you overcome it.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Dunitra. Those explanations were very clear and we all get everything clear. And others, keep in your mind that we got your questions and we will direct those questions to Mr. Dunitra and get the solutions. Okay, so then now it's time for us to move into the second session of Wall Street 3.0. Let me cordially invite Mr. Vinod Payagala, the Managing Director of PNG Consultants Private Limited, to continue this session. And remember, guys, if you have any question regarding this session, you can raise them after this session by using chat box, or even you can unmute yourself. Mr. Vinod, over to you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So, thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak young undergraduates like you. So, today I'll be discussing about what is Colombo Stock Exchange and how that it works, and how to start a central depository system account, which is called a CDS account. And then I'll guide you through how to make simple transactions, basically how to buy shares and sell shares. So Sandali, can you share the, yeah, let's move on to the first slide. Shall we move on to the first slide, Sandali? Yeah, great. So before starting with Colombo Stock Exchange, we need to understand what is meant by financial market. So I think that you might aware about financial markets, because hopefully most of the guys are here are faculty of management and finance undergraduates. So I think you might aware of it, but I thought of giving you a brief introduction about what is financial market and what are the main types of financial markets. So the financial market is a market space, or rather not a place but a space where in which people trade financial securities and derivatives. Okay, so there are so many financial securities and derivatives are dealing with. So those are like short term. We can classify those financial securities as short term and long term securities. So based on that term or the tenor, we can classify financial market into two, which is capital market and money market. So capital market is the market which belongs to the long term security, while the money market or short term financial market is where the securities, the short-term securities are trading at. So when it comes to the examples, capital markets basically have shares, which is our main topic, and treasury bonds and debentures. Debentures are like shares but debt. And when it comes to money market, that's treasury bills. Treasury is government bills, and the repo and reverse repo. So next slide, please. Yeah. So the Colombo Stock Exchange, which is also known as CSE, Colombo Stock Exchange, belongs to the capital market because in Colombo Stock Exchange, most of the instruments are trading in Colombo Stock Exchange are long term. So if we go through the Colombo Stock Exchange, the history, this is established in 1896, like 125 years, and as a limited by guarantee company. You guys are aware of those company forms. And this is regulated by Securities and Exchange Commission of Sri Lanka, which is also known as SEC. And up to now, there are 290 listed companies and with a market capitalization of 4.9 trillion rupees. This is as at last month end, 4.9 trillion. So market capitalization is like, I'll discuss these terms later. So the market capitalization is 4.9 trillion as at 31st October. And this Colombo Stock Exchange is formed with 15 member firms and 11 trading firms. These 15 member firms and the Securities and Exchange Commission are the parties who are involved in this limited by guarantee company. Those are the parties who gave the guarantee to establish this Colombo Stock Exchange. And the trading time is 11 AM to 2:30 PM. Earlier, like before last year, that means before COVID, it was trading in between 9:30 AM to 2:30 PM. And in order to increase the liquidity, the Colombo Stock Exchange has decided to shorter the trading time. So now, if you want to make a transaction, you can trade in between 11 AM to 2:30 PM on all working days. So moving on, let's discuss the instruments or the securities which are trading at Colombo Stock Exchange. The first one is ordinary shares. There are two types of ordinary shares trading at Colombo Stock Exchange. One is the voting shares and the other one is the non-voting shares. Voting shares are the shares that you have right to vote for decisions in decision of that public limited company. The only difference in voting and unvoting is you are an owner, but you don't have the right to vote in annual general meeting or either in extraordinary general meeting. That's the main difference between voting and unvoting shares. Other than that, there's no difference in voting and unvoting shares. When it comes to the other types of shares are preference shares, which is more towards debt instrument, but like it depends on the redeemable or irredeemability. So it's a preference shares. Ordinary shares are basically the equity, and the preference shares in between debt and equity. Then the share warrants. Share warrants are right to purchase shares. So let's say if a company share is trading at 200 rupees and you can buy a share warrant at like far more less than 200 rupees, let's say 10 rupees. So share warrants allows you to buy or purchase that particular company shares in a future date at a specific price. So let's say you buy share warrants in 2021 and you can buy or you can purchase shares of that same company in 2023 at a specific price agreed on the date that you have purchased. Those are the share warrants. They are like more common or the famous share warrants were trading at CSE was the John Keel's holdings, and now it's like converted into ordinary shares. Then the right and bonus issues. The bonus issues are the capitalization of reserves, and the right issues. Right issues are the shares that, let's say, if you are an owner, if you are an existing shareholder, the company wants more capital or an additional capital in order to fund some projects, but they don't want to get any debts. So what they do is they issue shares to the existing shareholders of the company. So those are the right issues, and the bonus issues are the shares if that are getting for free of charge. Then also compared to those company ordinary shares, preference shares, share warrants, and right and bonus issues, corporate and government debentures are also trading at Colombo Stock Exchange, and closed-end funds, which is unit trust. There are like earlier there was National Asset Management Limited's closed-end funds were listed on Colombo Stock Exchange. But when it comes to Sri Lankan Stock Exchange, meaning the Colombo Stock Exchange, those like closed-end funds, government debentures are not that much liquid shares or liquid instruments in stock exchange. Those are not that much common. The common instruments that are trading at Colombo Stock Exchange is ordinary shares, preference shares, and share warrants. Now, I have not seen, like in this year, I have not seen any share warrants, but ordinary shares and preference shares, definitely we have trading on daily basis. Moving on. So this is a critical part. So this is how you can buy shares. So methods of buying shares. There are three occasions that you can purchase shares of a public limited company. I think you guys are already aware that private limited companies cannot issue shares to general public. So it has to be a public limited company. So because private limited shares are restricted to a maximum of 50. So public limited companies that which doesn't have any restriction. So once a public limited company is formed, they can issue their shares for the general public for the first time. That's called initial public offer. The latest IPO was Expat, which is a package company, which is one of like leading package manufacturers in the region. And there's another, like few companies are coming up in Colombo Stock Exchange. One is CAL, which is Capital Alliance Limited, which is one of like highest ranked investment banking company in Sri Lanka, and the HSND is coming up, and the most of guys favorite the Kapruka is gonna issue their IPO in coming months. So initial public offer, what you can do is, before doing all these three or before buying shares, you need to have the CDS account. I'll discuss how to create a CDS account with you. So if you have the CDS account, you can apply online or physical from through their company or through your broker for initial public offer. When it comes to seasons public offer, seasons public offers is like this. Let's say the Kapruka is offered their IPO to the general public, and now they have listed in the Colombo Stock Exchange. Later on, after 5 years, they thought of issuing another shares to general public, fresh shares, not existing shares, but a fresh shares to the general public, not limited to their existing shareholders. If it is not limited to their existing shareholders, that means it's a seasoned public offer, which is called as SPO. So again, you can buy shares from that SPO as well. But before doing that, you need to have the CDS account on ready. Then the buying shares are counted via CDS. I'll go through with that. I'll go through how to buy shares, how to sell shares in coming slides. Moving on. Yeah. Now we are coming to the opening a CDS account. You have two options. One is the manual and the other one is online via CSE app. It's the manual is pretty much simple. You just need to go for those 15 member firms or that 11 trading firms in the country. There are so many member firms like Capital Trust, Bartlett, NDB Securities, and like so on. There are like 15 member firms and 11 trading firms that you can go to their offices and fill the forms, and you can submit. So you can easily create a CDS account. It will take around 2 to 3 working days to create. Then you have the CDS account. So online via CSE app is like you have to download the Colombo Stock Exchange application, the mobile application, which is CSE app, and then you have to create your own account in the CSE app. using your email address and the password. Then you can submit your details like personal information, your bank details, and your NIC. Submitting that, you can create or open a CDS account online via CSE app. Let's move on. So this is the app, the csc.lk. You just type csc.lk or CSC. You can get this CSC mobile app downloaded. So then you are getting this kind of interface, the second picture, the market status, market close, that picture. And that picture, you have Colombo Stock Exchange logo in the down above the Our Services, backgrounded with dark blue. You can click that logo and you can open the CDS account using the CSE app. It's a pretty much like easy way to open a CDS account. You don't have to go to any brokering firm. You can open at anywhere easily. So you just have to have the NIC and your bank details. You have to take a picture of NICs, two sides of the NICs, and the bank account or the bank passbook information page, as well as you have to upload a photo of you in order to proceed with the application. Let's move on. So now I'll be moving to a few informational aspects. The price index in CSE. There are like two main price indexes in Colombo Stock Exchange. First one is the All Share Price Index, which is called as ASPI, and the second one is the S&P SL20. Other than these two price indexes, there are like 20 other price indexes, which is they have one price index for each sector. So Colombo Stock Exchange is like comprised with 26 sectors. So each sector has a different price index. These price indexes shows the movement, the price movement of these companies. So all share price index is like the weighted average price movement. It shows the weighted average price movement of all the 290 plus companies within the day. This was like based in 1,000. Now it has come to the 11,024 as a day before yesterday. Today they have lost around 300 something units, but because of few companies, because of one group, but still it's trading above 10,600 or 7,000 index. So when it comes to all share price index, this is like highest ever in Sri Lanka. Earlier in 2012, the all share price index or the ASPI has reached 7,700, around 7,700 index. So it was in 2012. Again, CSE was the best performing stock exchange around the world. Now again, it has reached and break all the all-time highs, and now they have break 11,000 as well. So when it comes to S&P SL20, it's 3,652.66 as at 16th November. This shows the largest, the largest and the most liquid companies' price movements over the trading period. So it's 3,652.66 as at 16th November. Today they have gained a little bit over 3 hours. Yeah, moving on. So this is like deciding the price. This is not the only thing that you have to consider, but I'm giving you like few information how to decide the price or how to make the buy or sell decision on shares. There are like two factors. First one is the quantitative and the qualitative factors that you need to consider when it comes to purchasing or when it comes to decide your investment. First one is the net asset value, which is the book value of the shares. Total net assets divided by number of shares issued. You guys are aware of the net assets. I think the net assets is calculated as total assets minus total liabilities. So this is again is equal to the equity component of the company. So the total equity divided by number of shares, you are getting the net asset value per share, or else we called it as book value per share. So if a company is trading, let's say a company, A Limited, has a net asset value of 10 rupees and is trading at 15 rupees, that means that that company is overvalued or overpriced. Net asset, that the price, the current prices has increased over the period and break the net asset value. If the trade, if that company, if the A Limited is trading at 5 rupees, that means they have under price. Clear? So that's a basic benchmark that you need to decide when it comes to decide the price or decide your investment. The most favorite of most of the investors are the PE ratio, the price earning ratio, which is calculated as earning per share into PE ratio. PE ratio you can calculate it or given sometimes. So you can multiply PE ratio by earning per share, then you can get the share price that which need to be traded at. So those are the most favorite quantitative factors that you need to decide when it comes to decide your investment. And the other one is the qualitative factors like company decisions and future plans. Basically, this is like companies, every decision, every board directors meetings or board decisions are directly affecting the company's share price. So you guys need to aware of quantitative and qualitative factors before investing in shares of that particular company. That doesn't mean that you have to have the inside information. Inside information is like not, you are getting information which the general public is not aware of. So you don't have to have the inside information to assess the price. You just have to understand, or you just have to like educate yourself about that company, how that company is performing. You just have to read the annual reports. You just have to read announcements or the dealing by directors. I'll go through that in order to decide which price that you need to purchase this share, or at which point you have to exit from this share. Those are like simple strategies that you have to use when it comes to making your investment. Let's move on. So this is another critical thing that you guys need to aware before investing in shares, which is the transaction cost. So currently at CSE, there are two rates of transaction cost. The first one is 1.12 and the other one is half of it, 0.6125%. That will be for the first one, 1.12% plus transactions up to 100 million, and the other one, 0.6125, is for transactions over 100 million rupees. So I have put an example. If a trader purchases 100 shares at 10 rupees each, his total cost of transactions would be cost of shares. So he is purchasing 100 shares, 10 rupees each, meaning he has to anyway pay 1000 rupees. Not only that 1000 rupees, he has to pay transaction cost as well. The transaction cost is 1000 into 1.12. So again, 11.2, meaning 11 rupees and 20 cents. So the total cost of that transaction would be 1011 and 20 cents. Clear? So if you decided to sell the same shares at 10 rupees again, so you bought those company shares at 10 rupees and you have decided, I'm gonna exit from this company at 10 rupees, thinking that you may not lose any rupee. However, if you have sold the same shares at 10 rupees, you are not getting 1000 rupees, but you are getting only 988.8 or 988 rupees 80 cents only you are getting. So there's a difference between, there is a 22.4 transaction cost that would be a loss that you have to incur. So you might think that I'm not gonna lose any rupee if I sell these shares for the price which you have bought, but there is a 1.12 transaction cost included or incurred. So you have to consider when you making a decision of selling or buying the shares, you have to consider that there would be always a transaction cost involved. This 1.12 is for like 0.64 is for cess, and another 0.3 for brokerage fee, and another few cents, few percentages for the other taxes and CSE or SEC charges. So you guys need to understand this transaction cost as always, because if you think that you have reached 2% to 2.5%, but you have not gained any money from that transaction, because there's always transaction cost incurred. Let's move on. So now I'm gonna show how to do these transactions and how this stock exchange and trading platforms work. So I'm gonna share my screen. So please allow me to share my screen. Yeah. You guys need to allow me to share my screen. Still it's disabled.
Can you check now? It is okay.
Yeah. Now it works. Thanks. It went. Now it's gone.
Okay, now I get.
Got it. So this is the Colombo Stock Exchange site, that CSE.lk, where you can have an understanding about the share price index, S&P SL 20. This is the market. This is the share volume that today traded, and this is the turnover today. The turnover value is 8.6 billion, and the number of shares which were traded today were 295 million shares. So as I told you, the ASPI, the all share price index, has dropped by 373 units, which is a 3.39% decline compared to day before yesterday closing index. And again, as I mentioned, the S&P SL 20 has gained a slight like 15.89 units over today transaction time. This is how the SPI move from 11,024 to 10,647 over the transaction period, and this is how the S&P SL 20 statistics move from 3,652 to 3,668. Here the company search, that which you can search any share from in order to gain knowledge about the company. Let's say I'm gonna search Melstock PLC, which is one of largest conglomerate in country. So here the company profile, it shows the address, phone, fax, website, the business summary, where in which sectors they have involved in. They have involved in beverage, plantation, telecommunication, financial services, and other diversified sectors. And they have given all the information, and the key executives, the chairman is Hari Javardhan, and there's a managing director, and these are the board members. So altogether you can understand, or you can have an understanding about the company. And this is like there are two tabs which you guys need to aware, or which is critical for your information. The first one is the financials, which allows you to read the annual reports, quarterly reports, and other reports of the company that they are publishing for general public. So in annual report, this is the 2020-21, which is uploaded on September 8th. You can gain all the information about the company by reading those annual reports. Since you guys are in management faculty, you must like at least like you guys have to read those annual report, even though you don't invest in Colombo Stock Exchange, because after graduating from the Colombo University or whatever the university that you are involved in, because you guys are business graduate, you are gonna be a business graduate, you guys need to aware about the companies, so you guys need to read annual reports, financials here. And the next most critical part is these announcements. So here I'm going to teach you another critical component here. So this is a cash dividend that they have announced, so only for voting shares, and dividend per share 2.7. so for every share you have if you have received, for every share you are receiving a 2.7 or 2 rupees and 70 cents in like in few days, like on payment date is 10 December 2021. And this is the point that I need to inform or teach you about, which is the XD date. XD date is the date shortened for ex dividend date. So ex dividend date is 22nd November 2021, meaning that means Monday. So Monday you can buy the share without the dividend price. So you have to hold your shares before 22 November, 22nd November in order to entitle for shares. Okay, entitled for dividend. Clear? And so if you have hold, that means today 22nd is the Monday, so tomorrow and day after tomorrow are holiday. So if you are a shareholder of this company as a today trading close, you are entitled for dividend of this company. So that's ex dividend date. So you need to understand that as well. So there are like so many announcements here. You can read and understand how the company works. And then I'll be moving on to the main segment, which is the trading platform of Colombo Stock Exchange. They have two main platforms. First one is the A-Trade, and the other one is the Direct F. So A-Trade is loved by Capital Trust, and the other Direct FN is like from Bartlett. And those two trading platforms, time to time, they allows for shareholders to trade. So this is how it looks like. Like you don't have to get confused. It's a simple thing. So here you have watch list. You can have the full watch, meaning you can include all the company shares into this watch list. You can full watch bill, meaning treasury bills, treasury bonds, and you can have the sector watch, meaning there are 20 sectors, so you can include all in here. So here this is a customized watch, custom watch. So the security here, the MELS.N is shows as Melstock normal voting shares. N shows the normal voting shares, and this is the company name. So here, this part is the area that we need to thorough with. So bid price, ask price, and the ask quantity. Bid is like the demand, and the bid price is the demand price. Ask price is the supply price, and the ask quantity is the supply quantity. Here the last is the last price traded at, and the last quantity 625. And this is the change which shows from previous closing price to the last traded price. So it was close at 56.10, 56.1, and today close at 50.5, 55.5, meaning they have reduced their price by 60 cents, which is a 1.07%. Then I'll show the market depth, which shows the demand and supply list of this company. So this bid price, bid quantity, and split shows the demand for this company, and this ask price, ask quantity, and split shows the supply list of this share. So in order to a transaction occur, you know the equilibrium price, the last equilibrium price was 55.5, or the 55 and 50 cents. So if you want to buy shares right now, not right now, if at a trading price, you can bid for 56.8 and you can buy 680 shares. And if you want to sell your shares right now, you can sell at 55.4 and you can sell your 300 shares, because at 55.4 there's only 300 shares who there are two people who are willing to buy at this price. So this is the market depth of that company. And then I'll be moving to how to buy shares. So buy, you just have to click this this dot and click buy. So you can decide the quantity, let's say 1,000, and here automatically, since you are buying, the automatic price shows the ask price, so 56.8,000. Then the order value would be 56,800, which is 1,000 into 56.8, and here the commission shows the 636.16, which is again 1.12% of this order value, and the net value shows the 56,800 plus this 636. Then I'll show another thing that you guys need to aware. There are like TIF, day, transaction, till when. So day, GDT meaning good till date, GTC means good till cancel, OPG, that will be the opening, the closest opening price, IOC means immediate to cancel, or fill, FOK means fill or cancel. So if you have decided to put day, that means once you click buy, then this order will remain until this 1,000 rupees are getting filled or the transaction date ends. Or if you put now buy, if you cannot buy this 1,000 shares at 56.8, then this order will remain active until Monday 2:30 p.m. Even at 2:30 p.m, if you couldn't buy this share, then the order will get automatically cancelled. So GTD, the good till date, meaning you can decide the number of days that you can you need to have this order active. So GTD, you can have 1 day, 2 day, 3, 4, 5 days inactive. Then the GTC, good till cancel, that's a 5 day period, and the OPG is the if you click OPG, then the order will be executed as close as the opening price as possible. So meaning if Monday the share will be trading at 56.8, and if you have bid for 56.8, then the transaction will happen. Then the IOC, which is the immediate to cancel, it's like this. If there's like if you have put 1,000 shares, then if there's a bid for that 1,000, ask for that 1,000 quantity, then it will be filled. If there's any unfilled quantity, they immediately that unfilled quantity will be cancelled. So there's a, like, if you have bid for 1,000 quantity and you have filled only 500 shares you have received, but that remaining 500 will get cancelled. The last one, fill or kill, means if you have bid for 1,000 quantity, if there's no 1,000 quantity at 56.8, then the order will get cancelled. If there's a 1,000 shares to offer at 56.8, then order will fill and order will close, and you will receive shares. So this is how this works. And if I take this Stock, the highest price today traded at 56.8 and the lowest price traded at 55.5, and number of shares traded today was 631,142, amounting to 35.3 of turnover. And there were 468 trades occurred during 11 to 2:30 today. So that's how to buy shares and sell. Again, same thing, same interface. You can decide the quantity and price and the TIF. Then I'll show you another thing, which is the statistics. This interface will give you a lot of information about this company, which is the first block is the week to date, month to date, year to date, and 52 weeks and all time. So week to date shows the highest price of this week. So on 16th, this was traded at 57.5 and today 55.5. So this week, this share was trading in between 57.5 to 55.5. And when it comes to month to date, meaning this November month, the highest price which was recorded was 59.5 and the lowest price was 54 rupees, which was on 10th November. And when it comes to year to date, which is very interesting, these have varied between 78 rupees to 42 rupees. So you can see the spread between 78 and 42. It's a 36 rupees, which is like a huge gap between highest price and the lowest price over the period. And this 52 weeks shows the last 52 weeks. Year to date, it shows the 2021, the current year to date. 52 weeks goes back to last 52 weeks. So it was traded in between 78 to 35 rupees. Last year, it was 35 rupees. So if you have purchased this share last year, November 19th, exactly 1 year ago, you could have sold within 1.5, within 2 months at 78 rupees, which is more than 100%. So you can decide, like, you can have the understanding how you can earn using or trading on stock market. So before winding up to the session, I'd like to say that don't try to gamble on stock exchange. Like, there are people who gamble. You also can gamble, but you know that if you go into a casino, even though regardless of how many rounds that you have won, if you when you are coming out from the casino, ultimately you are lost. So it's like this. You don't have to gamble to earn money. You just have to invest on fundamentally strong shares in the Colombo Stock Exchange. There are like so many fundamentally strong shares. Like actually there are so many fundamentally strong shares now, like trading at underprice. So you can capture or buy those shares and earn a good return. And don't expect to earn like millions in just one or two trades, and don't expect to invest 1,000 rupees and earn 1 billion within 1 month or one year or 2 years. It's a long process. Like, even I'm still studying. It's been like 8 years for me. Since 2013, I'm trading and investing on stock exchange. So it's a long process to understand, and I didn't touch any technicals of any company or anything relating to technicals. This is just fundamentals and basics of Colombo Stock Exchange. And when it comes to the minimum investment that you have to invest on a stock exchange is like you can invest even 1,000 rupees, but in order to obtain this online trading platform like A-Trade or Direct FN, there's like some specific minimum account. So when minimum amount when it comes to Capital Trust Securities, which is my broker, they wanted like 100,000 or something to have the online trading platform. And there are like some brokers even they allows you to have the online trading for even for 10,000 rupees. Likewise, so invest wisely, so you don't have to worry much. So start small, even like current like first or second richest guys have like earned from the stock market, not from 1 year or 2 year or 5 years. It's like within like 2 to 3 span of decades. So I think I have done my part. So if you guys have any questions, so let's move on to that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. So we have our first question. What is the best stockbroker with good customer service, trading platform, and low fees?
As I mentioned that the trading cost or the transaction cost, the 1.12 is fixed. The brokers cannot decide the transaction cost. It's fixed by the Securities and Exchange Commission. So it's not vary with any brokering firms. And when it comes to best stockbroker with good customer service, I cannot comment on the customer service, but like I have mentioned few stock brokering firms which are like large member firms. They have a good customer service aspect.
Okay, so the next question that we have is, how much time should I spend while researching stocks?
In order to buy shares or like to study? Wow, can you be like more specific? If you like, it's like this. It's
yeah,
like
both.
This. Yeah. It's like this. Like as I earlier mentioned, like I'm still learning for like 8+ years. Like it's been 8 years and 8 months to be exact. I'm still learning, and when it comes to purchasing a share, you need to have an understanding about the share. You need to have the fundamental information about that share to purchase. But like I have made some transactions within like 1 or 2 minutes. It's up to you. So sometimes it went wrong. It may go wrong, or it may be a good deal. So it's up to you. Like I cannot comment. Like I mean, I cannot say like this is you have to study 1 year, then that's all. Then you just sit and do the transaction. There's nothing like that. You just have to learn continuously. So because the thing is like if we decide to move on with one company, let's say Stockholder, John Keys or Commercial Bank or just one company, the things change. The company may change, their operational structure will change, their decisions will affect the share price. So you have to keep update yourself in order to earn, or like in order to make wise deals, so wise transactions. So you have to get into this, like you have to be with these companies, and you have to deal with these stock exchanges. You have to learn. It's a continuous journey. You cannot like stop from this point that you know everything. There's no nothing like that. You have to learn continuously. You have to search. You have to understand this. You have to research, do your own researches for like companies continuously in order to like earn and have a good result at the end of the day.
Okay, sir. So the next question that we have is, when the market is at its high, so is it possible to invest?
Yeah, why not? Like it's like this. Like let's say, as I mentioned, in 2012 the ASPI was 7,700. Then after 2015, it reaches around 5,000 at 5,000, and then it was continuously going up since like post-COVID. I mean, after second wave, meaning last year November. Since last year November, the market continues to grow. So let's say the ASPI is at 8,000, and you think the market is like at higher stage, and you think it's at the highest stage. So you wanted to wait till it comes down. So you are losing the opportunity, because they have reached to 9,000, and again you thought this is all-time highest, so you have to wait. Then the market reached to 10,000. So again you have already like losing opportunities. It's like opportunity cost. So there's nothing like this will end this 11,000, this will end at 12,000. There's nothing like that, because always the companies grow with the economy. So companies always try to grow their company. Managers, directors, and the shareholders always want that company to continue, like have a continuous growth. So once the companies started to grow, the share price index eventually go up. So there's nothing like that this ASPI will stop at this point while the companies are keeping their momentum. So if you are waiting, that means like you are losing the opportunities.
Okay, sir. So someone asked that, is it advisable to be a long-term stockholder? And if so, what are your guidelines on how they should be done?
So it's like this. I'll tell you one story. Like, let's say now you guys may in your early 20s. So instead of going for a insurance plan or pension plan, you can invest small, like let's say 5,000 or 10,000 every month. So you pick fundamentally strong companies and you keep investing. So after 5-10 years, you have like good chunk of shares with fundamentally strong values. So let's say you have started investing at 5 rupees at that share, but you continue to invest on that same company. So you might have a good portfolio at the end of the like 5 to 10 years. I'll tell you one example. Last year there was a company called Expo Lanka. It was traded at 2 rupees or 2.5, and even one of my friends had shares. He bought at 3 rupees and sold at 6 rupees. It's 100% gain. But today the share price of that company is 238 rupees. So imagine if he has hold that shares for like just 1 year. So he could have been easily a multi-millionaire. So if he has hold like 1,000, let's say 10,000 shares, 10,000 shares, it could have cost 30,000 if he has bought at 3 rupees. Now that 30,000 has valued at 2.3 million. So it's like that. So you have to like keep investing. Like if you want to have a good portfolio in long term, you have to keep investing. Like like you are gonna invest on pension plan. This is anyway rewarding more than a pension plan.
Okay, so thank you very much for this clear explanation. We learned something new and something that we learned in our academics, and we learned addition to that also. Thank you very much, sir. So it is our pleasure to introduce Good PR as our digital media partner and our gift partners as SL via Bonsai and Cakes by Ishi. So let's see who are our partners. Thank you so much. Good PR, the digital media partner, and SL Bio Bonsai and Cakes by Ishi, the gift partners, for partnering with us, Wall Street 3.0. Ladies and gentlemen, here is what you will have been eagerly waiting for. It is time to announce the winners of the social media challenge. The winners of the social media challenges are Harith Lokugamage, Kusal Udayanga, and Rihan Kotage. Congratulations, winners, and thank you all for taking part enthusiastically. Okay. To remark the end of Wall Street 3.0, let me cordially invite co-chairs of the Wall Street 3.0, Hashini Pedro Rachi and Amali Senadira, to thank all of you.
A very good evening, everyone. So first of all, I would like to thank Mr. Dunit De Silva for gracing us with this event and giving us a really insightful and interactive session. And I'm sure our participants gained a lot of knowledge regarding the cryptocurrency subject from you. So thank you once again for being with us today for our Wall Street 3.0 session in spite of your busy schedule. So thank you very much, sir.
You're most welcome.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank Mr. Vinod Payagala for today's session on stock market. I hope all of our participants got updated about the essential parts of the stock market. Thank you once again for joining us amidst your busy schedule. Thank you.
Thank you, Hashini and Amali. We, the Rotaract Club of University of Colombo, Faculty of Management and Finance, hope today all of you have got a sound knowledge about cryptocurrency and also stock markets. Thank you all for your active participation today, and thank you for joining with us today. Have a good night and stay safe. Thank you.